In a tiny flower, a magical girl no bigger than your thumb is born, waking up to a sparkling world full of wonder. But one night, a huge, ugly toad kidnaps her, carrying her across a dark, muddy swamp. Alone and drifting on a lily leaf, kind fish nibble it free, and a beautiful butterfly pulls her to safety. A colorful May beetle swoops down, and she gently falls onto a magical white flower. There, in a bright, sunny land filled with sparkling fairies, she meets the tiny winged flower fairy king and finds true love. She spreads her delicate crystal wings to fly alongside him and the kind swallow who saved her, finally finding her happy, magical life. Once upon a time, in a quiet little cottage beside a beautiful garden, there lived a kind woman. She had a peaceful home and lovely flowers all around her, but her heart carried a deep sadness. More than anything in the world, she wished for a child, a little daughter to love. One day, unable to bear her longing any longer, she went to visit a wise old woman who knew the secrets of the garden. "Please help me," the woman said softly. "I wish for a child more than anything." The wise woman smiled kindly and handed her a single magical grain of barley. "Plant this seed in a flower pot. Take care of it and be patient." The woman rushed home and planted the seed carefully. Days passed, and then something wonderful happened. A beautiful flower grew from the pot. It looked like a tulip with bright red and yellow petals. Curious, the woman leaned closer to admire it. Suddenly, pop! The flower opened, and inside sat the tiniest, most beautiful little girl, perfectly formed, but no bigger than the woman's thumb.
"Oh, my little girl, I will call you Thumbelina."
Thumbelina's life was sweet and joyful. She slept in a shiny walnut shell cradle with soft violet leaves as her mattress and a rose petal as her blanket. For fun, her mother would place a tulip petal in a bowl of water. Thumbelina would sit on the petal like a tiny boat and row across the water using 2 horsehairs as oars, singing in her sweet little voice. But one night, while Thumbelina slept peacefully, something terrible happened. An ugly, enormous toad hopped through the open window. When she saw the tiny girl, the toad croaked,
"What a perfect little wife for my son."
Without thinking twice, the toad grabbed Thumbelina's walnut shell and carried her away to the muddy marsh. When Thumbelina awoke and saw the dark swamp around her, she began to cry. The kind fish swimming below felt sorry for her. They quietly nibbled at the stalk of the leaf where Thumbelina was sitting. Soon, the stalk snapped, and the leaf floated away down the river, carrying Thumbelina far away from the toads. As she drifted along, a beautiful butterfly saw her and helped pull the leaf faster through the water. But suddenly, a large May beetle swooped down from the sky and grabbed her. He carried her to a tall tree and showed her off to his friends. But the other beetles laughed at her.
"She has only 2 legs.
She has no antennas.
She looks strange."
The beetle suddenly lost interest and dropped poor Thumbelina onto a flower. Now she was completely alone. All summer she wandered through the forest, surviving on flower nectar. But when winter arrived, the cold became very dangerous for someone as tiny as she was. Shivering and weak, Thumbelina finally found the underground home of a field mouse. The mouse felt sorry for the little girl and invited her inside. "You may stay here for the winter," the mouse said, "but you must help clean my house and tell me stories." Thumbelina agreed gratefully. Soon, the mouse introduced her to a neighbor, a rich but gloomy mole who lived deep underground and hated sunlight. The mouse thought this mole would be the perfect husband for Thumbelina.
You should marry him. He is very rich.
But Thumbelina was miserable at the thought. The mole lived in dark tunnels and never saw the sun or flowers. One day, while walking through one of the mole's tunnels, they found a swallow lying still on the ground. The mole said coldly,
"Birds are useless creatures."
But that night, Thumbelina secretly returned and discovered the swallow was still alive, just frozen from the winter cold. All winter long, she secretly cared for the swallow, bringing him water and covering him with warm hide. Finally, when spring arrived, the swallow recovered.
Thank you, dear little friend. Come with me, and I will take you somewhere warm and beautiful.
But Thumbelina stayed, thinking she owed the field mouse her kindness. Soon, the day of their marriage to the mole arrived. Heartbroken, Thumbelina stepped outside to see the sun one last time. Suddenly, she heard a familiar sound. Tweet, tweet! It was the swallow. When he heard about the forced marriage, he said quickly,
"Climb onto my back. I will carry you far away from here."
This time, Thumbelina did not hesitate. She climbed onto the swallow's feather, and together they flew high into the sky. They flew over forests, lakes, and mountains until they reached a warm land filled with beautiful flowers. The swallow gently placed Thumbelina on a large white flower. Inside the flower sat a tiny winged king, the king of the flower fairies. He was handsome, gentle, and exactly Thumbelina's size. The fairy king looked at her and said warmly,
Will you become my queen and rule over the flowers with me?
Yes, I will.
The fairies celebrated their wedding with joy. They gave Thumbelina a pair of delicate wings so she could fly from flower to flower, and they gave her a new name, Maya, a name as beautiful as she was. At last, Maya had found her true home, her true love, and a life full of sunshine and flowers. And she never forgot the kind swallow who helped her escape the darkness and find her happy ending.